Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's podcast. I am thrilled to welcome you all to Jackie Wheeler. Jackie, welcome to the podcast. I am so happy that you're here. Give us a little bit of a sense for who you are and what your story is.
Fantastic. Hi. Yep. Jackie Wheeler. I own JackieStyle Image and Branding Agency, and I've been helping women in the spotlight look amazing with their style, image, and brand for over 30 years.
I love that. Okay, so tell us, first of all, how do you do that? Like, what is the kind of the thing that you do to get people all styled and ready to go? And then how you got started in this?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, a lot of times I'm in those private spaces where women feel a little uncomfortable, which is their closets and their fitting rooms. I take a look at what my client has, what is in your closet, how it's working well for you. If not, we curate. And if it doesn't, then we shop. And that's where we're in the fitting room. I can make sure that you have this really great experience while we're shopping, finding those key pieces that enhance all of those things. I started as a small child. My poor mother, who is extremely natural fashion personality, she's had this firecracker of a daughter who had opinions about what to wear. And just started from there. I styled all my friends in junior high and high school. I was on a college bound, so I found my degree in clothing and textiles. And I started my business actually while I was in college because it just made sense to me. I could just do it. And so, yeah, I started all of those things right away. And it's just been so much fun.
That's amazing. Okay, there's so much to unpack there. So I'm excited to kind of dive in. First of all, one of the things I love about what you just said about your story is that you took your passion, you took what you was naturally the thing that lit you up and made it into a business, which is like so dreamy and exciting. And so I want to dive into that a little bit. But tell us a little. So, okay, so you go into someone's closet or you take them to a store. So is your business primarily face to face? Or are you doing this kind of work online?
So I'm my favorite, very, very favorite is in person and face to face. So I do some traveling. I have worked with a lot of people locally. Virtually, I'm capable and am happy to do virtually. So yes, I can do that. It's a lot of fun. It's a different experience, but it's still a fabulous experience online. So yes.
Okay. So women come to you because
Mhm.
they don't like their clothes, they don't feel comfortable in what they're wearing, or what they're wearing is not reflected on who they are.
Well, there's a variety of different reasons. At first, it may not be a I don't know what to do. And then as they grow and they learn more about themselves and the tools that they have available to them, then it becomes more of that, okay, now I have decision fatigue. I
Mhm.
understand my body, I understand my best colors, I understand these things. I need to go do my superpower on my business and my life. And now I just want somebody else to take care of the rest. And
Yeah.
so I'd help them with that. So that decision fatigue of, all right, well, now we've made this really great wardrobe for you that enhances your style, image, and brand. Let me just take care of that. So now I have women that open their calendars and say, I have these events, dress me. And I just go into your closet and make sure that happens.
Ah, well, I love that. First of all, I love that because I am definitely one of those people that I go in my closet and I'm like, I have nothing. Like, what am I supposed to wear to this? I have no
Yeah.
idea. And so I love that you are available to help with people and it matches your passion for being able to do that. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your journey to creating a business around this. So it was your passion. You said you had done this for yourself and for your friends and other people growing up, and then went into the major that allowed you to formalize it, perhaps. But there's a difference between having a passion and then actually being able to
Right.
monetize it. So talk a little bit about that for our audience, because in our audience, it could potentially be experts who are like, I just love what I do, but I don't even
Right.
know how to make a business of it. And then I'm going to take you to the next level, which is how do you actually scale that? So first, tell me a little bit about how you turn it into a business.
Of course. It was when I was working with my girlfriends in junior high and high school, a lot of their moms like realized that I was doing a pretty good job of budgeting and whatnot. So they didn't necessarily hire me, but they're like, here's your budget, go with. And so that's how I started learning about what that could look like. And I didn't have a name for the information that I knew. I didn't have a name for the job that I wanted to have.
Mhm.
and I randomly met an image consultant, and she and
Mm.
I had coffee. She took time with me at 18, 19 years old to just have that conversation and say, here's some options that you might have. Here's some other formal information that you need as an image consultant, and this is the direction you want to go. And that really changed my life in that I can really do this. My initial thought when I was going to school was I was going to become a buyer. I was going to
Mhm.
have a shop. I was going to have all these things. I had that entrepreneurial sense in me the whole time. I knew that there would be something. But when this woman sat and gave me her time and gave me a definition of what that real thing was I wanted, I was like, "Oh, okay. Did I do it right? Probably not." Like, I'm sure 19 years old, I did not initially do things the best way. I knew I needed to network, I needed to find the right people, I knew I needed to find the right space, and I knew I was still in school, and then I needed to find that balance.
Yeah.
So I just found that I started at the Chamber of Commerce and met people and learned how to network, and I learned how to give my little speech, and I just kept going and made lots of mistakes along the way.
Right, right. So do you still primarily just do one-on-one image consulting for people?
No. So I have a workshop coming up here in
Okay.
Arizona on power first impression, and I'll be doing like a group workshop then. I'm working on some virtual workshops. I've done all kinds of different opportunities for specific topics that I do Zoom and workshop master classes with that.
Awesome. So you're into one-on-one, and then now you're doing group where you're able to help more people at the same time. So through workshops and whatnot. Are you also doing some sort of scalable delivery where you have some options that are available for people to access that don't require your time?
I love that you're asking me that. I don't yet. I don't
Mhm.
yet. And I have been thinking about how can I expand this legacy, this love that I have and
Mhm.
help more people and create something that is again not all of my time because it has been 30 years I've been doing this and hopefully
Right.
someday maybe I'll probably never retire, but maybe do less and
Yeah.
that would be nice. But
Yeah.
so I have not,
Well,
I've been thinking of noodling it, but not nailed down what that looks like.
right. Well, and you hit it on the head, right? Where it's you have the ability to package what you do so that more people can have access to you without you, having all of your time involved in it, and then you can still kind of play in people's closets when you want to, instead of having to from a business perspective. So that's super exciting. So when you're doing your workshop, are you doing multiple iterations of those workshops? So it's sort of like a packaged curriculum that you've already created when you're helping people?
It's a curriculum that's in my head that I've created,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
it's not necessarily packaged. I love that idea of pulling like here's three options and packaging that. That's fantastic. I'm gonna
Yeah.
write that down.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting, right? Like when you think even about some of the things that you probably do, you mentioned colors, right? Like you help people figure out
Mhm.
like what the best
Yep.
colors are or how to put together an outfit. All of those things would be easily packageable into something that if somebody was interested in figuring out like how do I dress myself for age or dress myself for an event or all of those kinds of things. And like, what color should I be wearing? What color shouldn't I be wearing? All of those kinds of things. Are those some of the topics that you talk about in your workshop?
Absolutely. All of those topics. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's so fun. Like it's I love meeting experts in sort of non-traditional expert areas, right? And so it's so exciting to think about like how can you monetize, how can you grow, how can you package what you're doing to get out to more women. Do you specialize in a specific age or a kind of type of image
My niche.
consulting?
What's my niche? Yes. So I love working with speakers, authors, coaches, those women that are in the spotlight all the time. They have to consistently like really know that they're on point. So that's the woman that I love to work with. I am able to work with all, obviously. That's like not a concern. It's like if I can. So that particular woman has again a lot of decision fatigue. She has a lot of things that she needs to think about And there's a lot of events for her. It's not just I'm going to maybe do a networking group or a this or whatever. She's doing podcasts and she's doing on stage and she's like all the things. So yes, that is my
That's
age
amazing.
group
And
wise. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like probably 30, 35 to 65.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then, how do you dress when you're not like at home with
Right.
your yoga pants on? I actually have real pants on today. I just have to tell you, like real pants, but most of the time it's my yoga pants, right? And then the shirt on the top. So I'm sure you deal with that now too, right? Where it's the difference between how we used to dress when we would go somewhere versus like how
Mhm.
do you show up on camera and still
Right.
present yourself with the right brand and being able to do that. So give us what would your one top tip that you have for my audience around how to present themselves visually in the way that you teach?
So one of the things that I like to talk about is how the decision to show up for you, right? So that never have a second chance for first impression moment. That's all about how other people are visualizing you. When you show up with how you want them to see you, that's the key. So then you start
Ah,
changing and taking control of that first impression because you've made that decision on how you are showing up. And I usually recommend picking 3 words that you want per two, but my personal is to have grace, poise, and style. And I hope that every time that I put my clothes on and I think about it, my style image brand, who I am, exudes grace, poise, and style. So just taking that one thought further and like, oh, I'm going to show up in this room. I'm just going to throw clothes on. Okay, no, how am I going to show up in this room? What is my message that I'm going to give? And that's what I think the biggest impact that women can think about is like where you're going and the impact that you're going to make based upon how you're visually showing up.
oh, that's so interesting. So a lot of times, for me, I'll do like a power pose, right? Like if I'm going on stage, I'll be like, okay, this is how I
Yes.
feel confident, right? Like
Yeah.
my hands are on my hips,
Yes.
my feet are planted, but I don't necessarily think about what I'm wearing. I'll wear something that I feel confident in, and most of the time it's a bright color because to me, my brand is more like authority and strength, and so I usually show up in like I don't know red or a color like that, but I don't
Mhm.
know if I've ever intentionally thought about that, right? Like whether it's red or orange or like just a brighter color, but I'm very intentional about like how I'm standing before I go on
Mhm.
stage. So I love that because that's totally something that I bet a lot of people don't think about, but it makes a huge difference. Like when you see somebody on stage and they're in some strange outfit that doesn't match how they're presenting, it does make a huge difference.
It does if you're not matching your message, it's hard. I kind of like have the 2, like, it's similarly, if you have your picture on your card and it's the '80s glam shot now, you're not representing yourself well. That cohesion is not there, and
Right, right.
it's like that.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Okay, interesting. All right. So, what's one book, resource, tool, or template or something that you could not live without as you're growing or when you were growing your business?
Oh, well, my most recent one, it's called The Go-Giver, and
Mm,
it's a book, and I love that one so much because it really talks about how sales and connecting with people is not about what you're going to get. It's about what you can give and how it's going to come back to you. Does
hmm
that, I
hmm
think, I make sure I'm saying that right, but I love that one. And the other is The Compound Effect.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I
I
have that
think
one.
that's a great one. I have to reread it over and over again because I will forget.
Yeah. No, both of those are amazing. So we'll put those in the show notes for everyone who is listening. So if you want to check those out, we always include resources. So thank you for sharing those. All right. So what is one thing that you for sure want my audience to know about your brilliance, your expertise, and how you show up in the world?
Oh, that is such a good question. I just want you to know that this is all about you and you showing up authentically. So when I am connecting with anyone, I truly see you for who you are. And there's no judgment, there's no anything like that in any of the space that you're with me. And I just enjoy that discovery along with you.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's interesting, right? Because I think we spend a lot of time talking or like focus on messaging, what we're saying, and like I said, like persona wise, how you're showing up. But I think that the image, the full picture gets missed. So, Jackie, I love that this is what you do and that this is your passion and you're bringing this out. And I can't wait. So, you're helping people in Arizona, you said, right? In a
Yep.
workshop.
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see that workshop or something similar come out from a bigger perspective so that you can help more people. Because I'm in Minnesota, I am not in Arizona. I would love to be in Arizona right now, especially because it's like -17 outside. And so I would gladly come to your workshop to get out and because I want to see you, obviously, but also to be in the warmth. But I can't wait to see how your message gets out to a broader group when you're able to package it. So I'm excited to kind of spitball a little bit with you on that. Like, what ideas could you come up with in terms of like, even just like small pieces of your workshop, kind of packaging that out, being able to give that as a live virtual workshop, or even as a scalable offer that doesn't require your time. So
Yes,
more
I
on
love
that
it.
because Jackie, I'm going to follow up with
Mhm.
you
All right.
have you noodled through some different ideas. But what comes up for you around that? Like, I would love to hear your thoughts on that because you've been kind of intrigued on that. I'm sure you're thinking about it. Any thoughts on that that you can share with our audience that would help them also kind of brainstorm some ideas around that?
Absolutely. So, I was literally just thinking about a gal who I was working with. She does content creation, content sessions. They're all in person. They're taking pictures and stuff. And I was thinking I wanted to partner with her to prep her people for that content
Oh,
because they're
yeah,
taking photographs over and over. And just to have a consistent monthly opportunity to what does that mean? How do you show up? When you're talking about you and your content, is there, how do we put that all together so you're prepped for photo shoots, content, and those kind of things.
yeah,
So
that's amazing. Very cool. Great idea. All right. So, for my audience, if anyone wants to get a hold of you and learn how they can be in your world, let us know how can we get a hold of you?
yes, of course. I have a little special gift for anyone who's listening. You can find that gift at it's a style guide,
Nice.
thejackiestyle.com/free gift. And the best place to find me is on Instagram, which is at the Jackie Style. And you can see all kinds of the fun things that I'm up to and creative ideas and more of my personality.
I love it. I love it. So, all right, perfect. So, for all of you who are interested in learning from Jackie in terms of how do you improve your image, how do you improve your style, and get a little bit of her passion for what you should be, putting on your body, definitely check her out on Instagram. All of those will also be in the show notes. All right, Jackie, leave us with a parting couple of words how what you do could help our audience.
Oh, well, I want just to remind you that there's no one like you. And so, as you're prepping yourself for any of the events and things that you have going, just remember that you are the most unique, special, and there's not a single person like you. And I just want you to remember that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for being on the show. I appreciate you. All right. Until next time, enjoy your week.